Another day, another VTuber situation unfolding. Internet Versus put out a video that covered a situation I was sort of witnessing here and there on Twitter unfolding. Bao made a tweet about, like, a male content creator. If you're a male content creator, then you should run. If you're getting approached by them as a woman, you gotta run and stuff. And a lot of people got upset at that because, you know, that could be interpreted as a lot of, like, femcel rhetoric or, my take on it is, like, I generally, like, previously don't think Bao is a good person. I think Bao, every time I've seen Bao talk, Bao is, like, one of the most performative people ever. Like, Bao just does not strike me as a genuine person. They just seem like they put on an act. And it feels like the way they worded it, and we're going to see the tweet as we go into this video. I'm sure Internet Versus is going to show it in the video. The way she worded it, it just comes across like she was trying to incite a reaction. She was rage baiting, right? That's really, like, the whole reason why she was, like, putting it up there. And I think she admits it's later. So we're going to dive into it and see what it's about.
Last week, VTuber drama flooded the timeline when Bao the Whale made a tweet that some say roughly referenced the Miskif situation and his ex-girlfriend Imaru, where Bao said that female content creators should be careful of large male content creators that suddenly flood you with attention, money, love, etc.
Couldn't you say the same thing about a woman content creator as well? Like, that would be like a form of love bombing, maybe. Like, yeah, I agree, I guess in the context of a guy, yeah. But, like, couldn't you say that, like, if a woman was doing that to you, that would also be, like, a red flag? Like, I feel like it goes both ways.
Many online got upset by this, pointing out that she used gendered language and this may be misandrist, and she could have made the same points without it. But others came to Bao's defense, saying that this is just pattern recognition and a reality that female content creators have to live with. Bao ended up going live, responding to the situation and doubling down on her tweet and saying that also it was just engagement farming, along with making various jokes about the men upset, like that they're balding, etc. Another VTuber, Shondo, also got involved and called someone criticizing her a groomer. There's a lot to get into. So welcome to the Internet versus VTuber misandry.
Damn, the worst kind of allegations on the internet is gooning allegations. I guess by that logic, I'm the biggest gooner in town.
Starts when Bao tweets out, if you're an up-and-coming female content creator with a small but growing audience, and a much larger and successful male content creator approaches you out of nowhere and showers you with attention on stream, in DMs, etc., don't walk, run.
So yeah, like, the way Bao words this really does come across like she's trying to rage bait. She could have made the same point by saying this exact take without adding the male content creator. Like, you could have just given this by, like, saying if a bigger streamer talks to you and tries to shower you with this, don't walk, run. You could have made the same exact tweet. And I think Bao knows that adding male is provocative. I think she knows that. And she was trying to farm engagement. She was trying to have a bait. She was doing the Asmongold tactic, right? Where she tried to have a base take and she wanted people to respond to it, to get angry at it. And it seems like it became a little bit more than what she could handle. So she bit off more than she could chew, some would say.
And Shondo replies with this gif saying, truth impact. Bao replies, get down, Madam President. Yuzu replies, when you're at a streamer party / event and the conversation with another girl turns into, OMG, he did that to me too. And Bao replies, no, the idea of a party turning into a group therapy session is making me so sad.
I genuinely feel like Bao doesn't mean anything that she talks about. Like, every time she talks, every time she's like, you know, the idea of this happening makes me so sad. It just feels like Bao is, like, so inauthentic every time she talks. Like, she is constantly venting on Twitter. She is constantly, like, sharing, like, personal mental health things on Twitter. But then she will go out here and start rage baiting people. And I find it really tough to feel bad for people like Bao because, like, she knows what she's doing. Like, she knows what she's doing when she's putting out a provocative tweet that's gonna get, like, reactions or all sorts of reactions. She knows what she's doing, and then she, like, tries to, like, talk about her mental health and stuff, which she did not only in this situation, but she brought it up during the Cinder situation. She brought it up during, like, several other things. Like, Bao has, like, a huge pattern of behavior of just bringing up mental health all the time in her, like, tweets, and I feel like, girl, if you really feel bad about your mental health, go offline. Stop posting it on Twitter. Like, stop fucking trying to make it a whole circus. Like, just talk to a therapist or go offline or something and, like, talk to somebody in the real world or about it. Like, don't, like, go on Twitter and, like, make it known to Twitter. That's like the last place you would want to go to share mental health problems.
Mugen says, bro, this literally could not be more true, especially if they offer to help you grow if you move in with them.
Yeah, totally not virtue signaling like he did in his dogshit fucking Cinder video, only to make another one supposedly double down in it. I am not going to watch Mugen's second Cinder part. I have no interest in doing that. Mugen just seems like a guy that just like virtue signals endlessly and talks about like things that matter, acting like things matter more than they actually do. The Cinder situation was really not that serious. Like, I looked at all of it. It boils down to immature high school drama. And then it somehow became a conversation about Cinder manipulating people and turning them into like her personal, like she became like this master manipulator or whatever. It's just like, it became like this whole conversation that it obviously wasn't. And Mugen heavily plays into it just because I guess Mugen wants brownie points from his fellow VTuber friends who are probably going to purity test him at some point in the future.
And Bao says, every crime podcast ever has taught me one rule: never go to the second location. Girl DM says, but then you miss out on trauma bonding with another girl who was a victim of the same successful guy. I don't recommend this route. It's absolute dog water. And Bao says, man, girls need to go back to bonding over their favorite unpopular ships, not over the worst moment of their lives. And Girl DM says, cursed ship bonding is so much more wholesome. Innes says, imagine you could have taken this opportunity to just say streamers in general, yet you had to make it a gender issue. Now a lot of people aren't so eager to agree with you because you made a sexist and generalized statements.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, you literally like made a statement about saying like men are problematic or whatever. That's what the tweet comes across as. Now, it's possible, but I highly doubt it. It's totally possible that Bao wasn't intending for the tweet to come off as sexist. It's totally possible. And maybe I'm misinterpreting that. I don't lean towards that answer. I think Bao knew what she was doing. I think she definitely knew that she could ruffle some feathers with the tweet that she made. And so she decided to make it a hot take. Right, or I guess a base take. I don't even know if you would consider it a hot take, because I'm sure it was probably relatable to some people. But you come across like you're a femcel when you talk about that, and you like talk about mental health issues and like just like men being like problematic. Like, let me put this out, right? If I decided to say, if a bigger female content creator decides to say that, shower you with gifts and decide to be like the nicest person ever, you should run away from that female content creator. How do you think that comes across? Like, how would that come across to any woman listening to that tweet? They would probably look at that and go, oh, that's a little bit yucky. I don't know. That's kind of weird. It's like, you know what I mean?
Media replies about by saying, you could have skipped any gender identifications and the message would have been exactly the same, minus the rampant sexism. And even then, I disagree. There are wonderful people, of either and any gender, with a large audience who simply want to support others selflessly. Lux says, another coin in the men blamed when it's a general problem jar. Renki says, guys, by showering with attention, she means attention to the point it is very uncomfortable and very much feels like strings are attached to it, like sometimes near constant. Checky says, people are responding like, but what if so-and-so and this and that? As if it isn't already obvious that it's clearly situational. Just be aware of any potential harmful people. And Bao replies, thank you. Zazzy.
I mean, yeah, I guess. But, like, I just don't believe that Bao was, like, I feel like Bao knew what they were doing when they were, like, putting up that tweet. I feel like they were intentionally trying to be provocative. I don't know.
He says, VTuber fans once again failing in media literacy and critical thinking. If any person, regardless of gender, has a ton of followers and approaches any small creator to give them special treatment, the small creator should hightail it out of that power imbalance immediately.
First of all, I don't care about the power dynamic argument. If somebody falls in love with a bigger content creator or enjoys their company because they're bigger, that means nothing to me. I don't really care about that. Second of all, that's not what Bao said in her original tweet. She specifically added the male part to get attention. She could have communicated exactly what she was trying to prove without making it an issue about it specifically being a bigger male content creator, when I'm sure you could apply the same logic to women content creators who go after men content creators that might be smaller. It's totally possible.
And Bao replies, for real. Like, my bad for not speaking on behalf of everyone and only myself. And Zazzy says, don't apologize for other people's lack of literacy. Your original post was perfectly coherent.
Not really. She added male in the original part. That's not really coherent. That's just you making it a gendered issue instead of communicating your legitimate point and making it an issue about men.
And Vermithax replies, quite the opposite. We clearly saw the misandry. Artie replies to Bao by saying, I'm noticing you made a general statement that's broadly correct instead of adding 50 edits explicitly defining the exceptions to the rule. Sorry, Sweaty, I will not read this in the most uncharitable way possible and say you're wrong. And Bao replies, the straw man being strawing.
There's no straw man here. What are you talking about? You added male specifically to get attention. You added that part specifically because you wanted to target a certain audience of probably femcels. Like, let's be real. That's what you were doing. And that can be interpreted as a dog whistle, and I feel like you should have known that. Now, that may not have been your intention, but that's definitely how it comes across, and now you're calling it a straw man, which, okay. You can't just try to rage bait and admit to rage baiting, which you do later in this video. You can't admit to rage baiting and then claim that you're being straw manned. Like, that's not how it works, Bao.
And Floki says, the only general statement that would have been appropriate would be the same without gender. Given Bao's own use of size to bad ends shows it's not a man-only issue. You can make this point without misandry.
True.
And Petrie says, it's about men though. We can call out predatory men without meaning all men, but people like you will jump at the opportunity to play victim.
Yeah. Predatory women never exist, by the way. Nina Lin, she doesn't exist. Ever.
Bao then replies to our own post following up, now saying, just because I don't include every single nuance, exception, possibility, and variation, doesn't mean we're not still having the same conversation. Stay safe, gang. And Nobody in 95 replies, Bao, with all due respect, you can't make broad demonizations of groups and not expect kickback. Imagine if I said, you're a young woman and you see a black guy approaching you, don't walk, run. I'd be inundated with people calling me racist and saying I'm wrong.
That is a good point. I didn't even, think about race inherently. That is actually a legitimately good point. If you said that about any race, you would be seen as a racist, and rightfully so. You should be seen as a racist, just to be clear.
And Dylan replies, it's a double ironic after Cinder. She talks like an incel.
Yeah, Bao gives me huge femcel vibes. And she knew, it's more than likely she knew what she was doing, and she's now trying to back up because it seems like the tweets going after her are getting to her.
Groggles replies to Nobody by saying, you're choosing to take the broadest possible read. She pointedly said several specifics. Large creator cold calling a small creator out of nowhere, i.e. they have no common friend circle. It's about imbalanced power dynamics. An Epic Unicap
I don't really care about the power dynamic argument. That really doesn't mean anything to me.
Says all she had to say was content creator. That's it. All she had to do was put in less work instead of generalizing men. And Groggles replies, and all people had to do to not be offended was not identify with predators.
Okay, so if I added right, that, black people in there, and I insinuated, hey, if you see a black person and you're a female, just run. Fucking run, right? And you claim to identify them with predators. This is a very weird insinuation because you're insinuating that, men are, predators or whatever. Now, I'm not personally offended by this, but, I am sick of the dishonesty of Bao not expecting pushback. And that's what I mean is that I always have had vibes that Bao is just not a particularly honest person, and she never has. Her response to the Cinder drama was, to go on stream and to just performatively cry on stream, even though it was, 2 days after the Cinder drama, just to, pretend to be upset at the situation, even though she had time to process it, quote-unquote, if you can even call it that, because I really don't think it's that serious. It's just it's so chill out. We don't need to make everything a fucking soap opera.
She didn't generalize men. She specifically said...
Yes, she did. What are you talking about? She said if you are a successful male content creator, okay, what about successful female content creators? Right? Couldn't a successful female content creator be the same thing? Couldn't a successful black male content creator? Could a successful white content creator or something? Whatever, successful blank content creator. You can remove the middle blank and still communicate the same message. That is the point. I don't think that is a difficult concept to understand. If you can't understand that, I don't know what else to tell you. You come across like you're rage baiting.
successful male content creator and approaches you out of nowhere. Over in the Are Virtual YouTubers subreddit, Ratsura screenshots Bao's tweet and captions it by saying, "What's your opinion on this situation? I saw this post and it resonated with me since, looking back at it now, based the same thing to the point of wanting to quit because he took credit for my work, disrespected me and friends, you'll never reach your goals, etc."
Sure, and you know what? I'm sure there are people that, like, resonate with that. There are, like, a lot of women who resonate with it because they see, like, a bigger male content creator and they date them maybe for some time and they, like, go through a disrespectful relationship and it's, like, something awful about it. And I'm sure there is, like, a level of truth to that. I don't know. I mean, like, I sympathize with that aspect of it specifically. But I don't think that's what Bao was intending here. I think Bao was intentionally trying to be provocative on purpose.
I wanted to ask everyone's opinion, stories, and takes on this due to Twitter being Twitter. Just ignore / don't focus on male part since not every guy is bad. And Caleb says, to be honest, that situation should apply to anyone regardless of gender. If anyone did come up and give you an unhealthy amount of attention on stream and in DMs or just in general, regardless of gender or popularity, then keep your distance. And CM Bucket says, to add, anyone who tells you that you're being too careful or paranoid is an instant red flag.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Not always. There are times where you overthink things. There are a lot of times where people overthink things, but I mean, I could see that, you know. I think it just depends on the situation.
And OP says this, I was losing my mind because I was told to not worry, that everything was fine. Leo Tomagan says, people in positions of social power abusing it to exploit younger / newer and relatively isolated people is not a new concept at all, but unfortunately needs to be repeated over and over and over again for...
This is the fucking VTuber. This is the problem with these conversations when we have them online, is because, like, it ties into the power dynamic argument. Power dynamics exist in basically every single relationship you can think of. I don't care that somebody looks at a content creator, falls in love with them because they're a big content creator, and if they fall in love with each other back, and then they decide to, like, be sexual or do, like, whatever the fucking, like, it is that they do together. That doesn't matter to me. Right, power dynamics exist between us and our parents. Power dynamics exist between us and our college professors or teachers, depending on where you are in life. Power dynamics exist between athletes and coaches. Power dynamics exists between police officers and the person they're arresting. Power dynamics exist between, I guess, judge and jury. Would that be a power dynamic? Judge and jury? I guess technically there is, like, a small power, or a bit of a power dynamic there as well. Like I said, there's a power dynamic in, like, every single relationship you can think of. The existence of one doesn't automatically mean that it's awful. And that's unfortunately a conversation that gets lost in a lot of online spaces. The only time a power dynamic is bad is if that bigger content creator decides that they want to leverage that power against them. So if they say something like, hey, I'm a big content creator. If you have sex with me, I will make you a moderator or VIP in my communities. That's predatory. If you don't have sex with me, I will fucking get you banned from all these online VTuber communities. That's predatory, right? That is, like, that's an abuse of a power dynamic. That's a problem. So I feel like when people talk about power dynamics online, they really don't understand that enough. I feel like people just, like, use the term power dynamic without absolutely understanding it. They just, like, use it to generalize the conversation mindlessly. And it just feels like we're not actually applying nuance, like real nuance to the conversation.
Ever, because we live in a culture that enables and rewards that behavior. And still just a cat in a cage replies, quoting the previous post and then saying, it doesn't need to be. We totally could change the culture.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone in the VTuber community is interested in doing that. They just want to, like, look good when they talk about it. It's good, like, social credit, so they get bigger, they get more likes, they get more followers, and they pretend to be a good person, yada yada yada. It's good branding, all that good shit.
It's just a thing we made up, and we could change it on a whim, but that would require some amount of sacrifice by the majority in the short term, and people have decided that is absolutely not allowed under any circumstance, from institutionalized Adobe Acrobat files to an existential climate guillotine hanging over the collective neck of our entire civilization. So yeah, I guess you're right. Fushaman says, don't think it alludes to anything specific. It's just an advice thrown at a bunch of socially inept people. And Flower Dance says, this was in response to the Miz/Imaru situation. And Fushaman says, I'm not really fluent in flesh tubers, but I'm fairly sure Imaru wasn't a small streamer when she was contacted by Miz the first time.
Oh yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, that's actually a really... Oh my god. So, that makes it even worse for Bao, because... It makes it worse because it wasn't even, like, related to Imaru. She just used the Imaru and Mizkif situation as an excuse to try to rage bait on Twitter and turn this into an issue about men. That makes it even worse because Mizkif wasn't even a bigger creator than Emru. If anything, Emru at the time was a bigger creator than Mizkif was. I don't know. Like, that's, wow, interesting.
And Flower Dance replies with this graph, which we'll show here in a second, saying she was growing steadily on her own, but Miz was a much bigger creator than her when they met. And they attached.
Is that true? Okay, I guess maybe I'm wrong.
This graph showing Miz's numbers up to 2021, roughly early 2022. Miz being in blue, having way higher numbers, and Imru in the green, going low at the beginning of 2020, 2021.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. Was Mizkif originally the one that reached out to Emru for a relationship? I guess maybe. Maybe it was. I don't know. I thought that they started their relationship because Emru joined OTK and then they just like met and talked and that's how they did it. I feel like it wasn't really... Okay. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about like the follower thing, but like I feel like... I still think Bao was using this situation as an excuse to like try to turn this into an issue about men.
And then shooting up and being a lot higher the rest of the years. Sneaky Squirrel replies by saying, massive underplaying, calling her stream growing at her own, lol. See her massive spike in viewers before 2022? That was only because she dated Mizkif and secured OTK membership with that. And then all up till the end of 2024, any sudden spikes to 40 to 50k she had were raids / OTK events.
Yeah, so that's not true. How do you explain Emru getting more viewers than Mizkif during the Rust event or any other time you can think of where Emru just was able to do better view-wise consistently than Mizkif was? This is like everything about this comment is just not true at all. What are you talking about?
Mizkif included, that were happening on her channel. Doesn't change the fact that Miz was a piece of shit, but you're just straight up lying by saying that she was growing steadily on her own when she gained so much from Mizkif.
No, I don't think so. I feel like you're just being... Okay. I don't know what you were thinking when you had this take, but cool beans.
And Skullcracker Jr. replies, growing steadily means precisely not making big leaps in viewership, and nowhere in that comment is it implied her massive jump wasn't due to Miz either. I'm not sure what you're even arguing with. And Flower Dance replies to Sneaky Squirrel by saying, holy, what a toxic interpretation of my words. The point I was trying to make was she did have a lot to gain from being close to Miz viewership-wise, which was what allowed these dynamics to play out like they did. Bao then went on stream and addressed some of the drama, talking about it, and here is a clip of some of her response.
Now the reason why I made this tweet is because there are evil motherfuckers out there like Mizkif, and they're literally hiding all around us, and they constantly get away with this shit. Constantly.
I agree. I wonder why.
Let me highlight each individual.
But I also think it's worth mentioning that there are some people who get falsely canceled, like Call Me Carson, who was a 19-year-old talking to a 17-year-old, and you deem them... A lot of people would deem that as the same tier as Mizkif's behavior, even though Mizkif is a million times worse than Call Me Carson.
Word, since people cannot read. There are three criteria. If you only hit one of these criteria, this tweet, not about you, homie. If you hit two of these criteria, still not about you, homie. Now, if you hit three, this tweet is about you. I think that there are a lot, and this is my experience, which means speaking for myself. Sometimes...
First of all, I don't know why you couldn't just, like... I'm pretty sure the Paint feature in... I assume you're using, like, Microsoft Paint to write this or whatever. I don't know why you couldn't just use the text feature to type it out. It would have been, like, easier to type it. Second of all, you're just playing semantics with your tweet. You're saying successful content creator. There's three different there's three different tiers. If you actually meant it, I feel like you would have made it clear that it was in three separate tiers. I feel like we would have seen that in the tweet. You're also Twitter Blue, so can't you, like, write more than what a normal person can in a tweet? Second of all, I don't believe you, Bao. You say that males are part of the equation, right? So you say two of the criteria. So if you're a successful content creator, that tweet's not about you. If you're a successful male content creator, that tweet's about you. You see, by your own logic, that you are making it a gendered issue by saying that, right? Successful content creator, not about you. You said that's 2 of the criteria. Successful male content creator, that is about you. You're playing semantics with your own tweet, but you're going to find out that playing semantics with your own tweets about your own rage baiting on Twitter, which you admit to later in this video, is going to cut both ways very quickly.
When you say something, you talk about it through the lens of your life and your experience.
The whole tone of this response is not going to resonate with people. I'm letting you know right now. When people see this response, you're actually going to make it worse for yourself, because now people are going to be like, oh, okay, you're being a condescending person about this. Because when you're saying, this tweet's not about you, my experience, yada, 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 it's like you're talking in baby terms, and it comes across as condescending to these people. And you're basically telling them that you are rage baiting to some extent. And that was your intention with the tweet. By, like, trying to do this justification, you're really not beating the allegations that you put this tweet out to make it all about a problem of men specifically.
And all the different pattern recognitions. Now...
Also, not for nothing, I tried looking at Bao's age to see... I wanted to see how old she was. Her age is not listed anywhere, so we don't know how old she is. I'm gonna be real with you. Based on listening to her, she sounds like a fucking 16-year-old girl. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I just listened to her voice. She sounds super young. Like, she sounds like a baby. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, later down the line it was revealed, oh, shit, Bao was actually not the age she said she was, and she didn't reveal what her age was. So, I guess she decided to put this tweet out. Maybe Bao is, like, super young. I don't know how old she is, but she sounds really young.
That isn't to say the complete opposite isn't true. That isn't to say other variations and exceptions aren't true. However, if you think there should be more to elaborate, sure, go ahead. You can quote retweet it, add on to it. But what you can't say is that I'm wrong.
We just did.
2 things can be right at the same time.
Yeah, but you're not interested in 2 things being right at the same time. You tweeted this with the intention to get fucking rage bait. And with this response and some of the other responses you're giving, not gonna lie, you're not helping yourself. You're actually adding more credibility to the fact that you probably were trying to rage bait to some capacity.
There are so many brain-dead troglodytes, so many brain-dead pre-debut V-tweeters with a stick up their ass, purposefully misinterpreting what I'm saying to get 20 extra likes on their tweets and to make a shitty drama video that no one is going to watch.
What are you talking about? You stated it clearly. Successful male content creator. You communicated your point perfectly, and we responded to exactly what you were saying. You wanted to rage bait. You wanted to benefit off of it. You wanted it to be a base take, and you kind of were successful, but you got a ton of pushback, and now you seem like you can't handle it because now you're addressing it live on stream, and you seem to be addressing it more throughout this situation. So, I don't know what else to tell you.
To be mad, you have to fall into this criteria. I would go onto some of these motherfuckers' Twitters, bro. Pre-debut, only tweet, no videos, not even a Twitch channel. Let's see. Are you successful? No. Are you a content creator? Hardly. Only thing in common. Male. Bro, they must have threw...
She's acting like that's not an important part of the conversation. You're like, oh, you're neither of these things. Oh, male? Yeah, you could have communicated your same point without adding male. That's the whole fucking point. How is that not difficult to understand? She knows this. There's no way Bao is, like, pretending to be this stupid. There's no way. I think she knows what she's doing is, like, she knows what she's fucking doing. And she's trying to play stupid on purpose because she's just trying to farm more engagement. Like, I don't even know why I'm, like, taking her as seriously as I am. Like, she's not even, like, an authentic person.
A piece of Swiss cheese straight onto the fucking monitor, and then all the words that they saw were, if you female and man run. That's all they saw. So no, I will not apologize for saying my shit The only thing I'll apologize is I'm sorry you are illiterate. I'm sorry you feel like you have to... The only way to have your own gotcha moment is...
She's really not going to do herself any favors with this response. It's going to make people more mad at her because she's really coming across like she's super condescending. And this whole... The whole tone here is like super condescending, and people are going to like try to like go after her even more for it.
To purposefully misinterpret what I'm saying and then get mad at a version of what I'm saying that doesn't exist.
The full VOD will be linked below if you want to watch it, but Floki screenshots this stream and captions it by saying, "I'm convinced this woman has one of the more intricate and stronger honey traps in place. Twice she has done rather horrible things just this year, and twice people without a brain line up to play the shield. Doubling down on her sexism and y'all lap it up like ice cream in July. Since so many people can't understand it, her modifiers don't actually mean anything. What is larger? 5, 10 viewers more? Much, so 20 to 30 more? Success is even more subjective. Everyone sees it different. As successful as her? What, all like 5 men? 5 men in VTubing? Do suddenly women never do anything? She only designated men as the perpetrators and women as the victims. So that's rather limiting. What about honeypotting? It's similar and older than love bombing and pretty female initiating. What about women who try to use their size and success to destroy friends' careers, to gain their own growth, or to stifle others? Generalities are rather harmful to those who don't do the act and victims who gain a blind spot for a rather decently sized predator pool. There's only one constant in the VTubing world I have seen over my 4 to 5 years here. People are not against doing whatever to grow. Betrayal, honeypotting, love bombing, friendships, even approved sexism and racism. Hope you all have learned something."
There's probably a level of truth to that, yeah.
Nathedra replies to Floki by saying, "This isn't man hate, it's pattern recognition. In creator spaces, the combo of power gap plus sexualized attention plus public pressure is a well-known setup for manipulation and harassment."
So couldn't you just communicate that without adding the male part? Like, I feel like these people, when they try to communicate their point, they're not actually, it just doesn't really feel like they're actually interested in any of these topics. They're using it as like a way to disguise, like, essentially like femcel dog whistling. Because that's essentially what, like, Bao was doing.
Risk isn't evenly distributed. Women, especially younger public-facing women, consistently report more severe online abuse, stalking, sexualized comments, threats, and that reality maps directly into what smaller female streamers experience when a bigger male creator suddenly love bombs them on stream or in DMs.
So true. Basically, when they say, like, love bombing and when they use the term power dynamics, they're automatically talking about predatory behavior. That's what they are insinuating, that men are predators. Females can never be predators, by the way. Just to be clear, there has never been a women predator ever. Zoe Laverne, who raped a 13-year-old boy while she was 19, that's not real. That's not real. That's in your head, men. Nina Lynn, who was involved in multiple sexual assaults, not real. Not a real thing at all. That one weird fan who groped XQC at TwitchCon in 2022, that never happened. It's not real. Groping men doesn't exist.
Power asymmetry matters here. The larger creator controls visibility, collabs, and momentum, which research shows can disinhibit boundary pushing and entitlement. That's why the warning names men in this specific scenario. It's targeted harm reduction based on where the risk clutters, not a claim that all men.
Got it. So all men are predators, basically. That's what you're saying. But I'm just reading what your words are.
Are predators.
No, that you literally just said that, like, it happens way, way, way more with men, and you're saying, like, I don't know, what other interpretation are you supposed to take from that?
And yes, harassment is widespread across gaming/creator spaces. Women simply catch the sexualized edge of it more.
Bro, it's not even the fact that they're saying this that's upsetting. It's the fact that they're just so dishonest. Like, a lot of people that are defending Bao and, like, Bao herself, all these people are just so incredibly fucking dishonest with their wording. They're trying to back up into, like, weird semantics to justify their behavior, but all they're doing by, like, playing these semantics is they're actually further incriminating themselves and unmasking the fucking femcel dog whistling.
Often saying anyone,
because I guarantee you, if a man said this about a woman, they would all be calling him misogynistic, and rightfully so. They should be calling him that.
Be predatory is true, but less protective. Vague warnings cause people to miss the highest probability red flags. Calling the pattern what it is isn't sexism. Prejudice is a moral.
It definitely is. It wouldn't have been sexist if Bao didn't include the male part. Just being real.
Judgment about all individuals in a group, while safety advice describes where harm is most likely so at-risk people can set boundaries early. Men can be victims, and women/non-men can offend. This guidance just names the pattern that most commonly hurts small female creators, so fewer people get trapped by it.
So true, Queen. I'm fucking just like bending over with like I'm kneeling to this take with my fucking just fully naked with my cock out.
Then Zelius tweets out this clip with the caption, "I'd hate to see that this is what you like to say to your peers, while remembering you have male fans when they've given you charitability. If you take this much issue with being called a misandrist, then stop surrounding yourself with yes men and make your point clear, idiot."
I had a lot of strong feelings about this. And to the people that are trying to dilute what I'm saying to fit their own, like, stupid ass anti-woman, I fucking hate you, you're misandrist, I don't care, bro. I don't care, bro. Go fix your receding hairline. You ever heard of minoxidil? Yeah, try that. All right? Don't care.
Wow, so mature, Bao. Very, very mature of you. Definitely not trying to rage bait, by the way. This is Bao. She definitely giving a very authentic and so true take from the heart. Definitely not trying to add some rage bait in there. Definitely not trying to agitate people.
Wrap it up.
It's just the constant dishonesty from Bao is like really like what pisses me off more than anything. Not what she said. I mean, what she said was like definitely not right, but like I feel like if she was a little bit more honest about her, I swear to God, Bao, if you were more honest and you say you hate men, I would actually have more respect for you than instead of doing whatever the fuck this is. Just say you hate men, all right? If you hate men, I will have more respect for you than not saying that.
Okay. Hey man, you're the
Than not like fucking having this like weird song and dance, like saying that it's not what I said or whatever, even though you're like we're not stupid. We know what a dog whistle is.
You're outing yourself. Okay? I didn't say anything. You did it yourself.
And now she's trying to make it all about, oh, it's just Cinder's community trying to grift off me or whatever. It's just Cinder's community. Oh, okay, cool. Even though Cinder literally didn't do anything wrong.
Bings replies, "I made a video discussing this and used the example of Disguised Toast being sexually harassed on stream, and him being afraid to speak up to just gently remind people that men, especially in the VTuber space, get harassed quite often. Many men agreed. Didn't even use it as a time to shit-talk Bao. Gave her so many easy outs. Bao isn't up to date on every drama, she was using the idea to protect against love bombing, obviously, and I think everything I said on it was so normal. Just a reminder that someone bigger in a sphere can influence general opinion. Men are afraid of speaking up because of societal issues. People make fun of men when it happens or dismiss it, which has been happening everywhere. It's sad to see the advocation of men's well-being being collectively so dismissed and shit on constantly. No wonder why men don't want to join the VTubing sphere. A lot of men have come out and shared similar experiences, discussing how women, lewd tubers, or anything of sort have harassed them, sexually harassed them. I myself have had loads of female VTubers send me unsolicited photos, try to flirt with me off on stream or in my DMs randomly. Hell, dude, some VTubers roleplay as their character until I ghost them or ignore them. Men tried to speak up against this because it's a problem. It's a unique situation for there to be a more predominant woman space where men wouldn't mind being involved, but these past few days I've seen nothing short of women using this as an opportunity to shit on men even more, calling people
Yeah, there's probably a level of truth to that.
or this is why women would choose the bear. I don't want to deny there's a lot of bad men or bad women, and collectively it's a problem. That's why people are saying both are a problem. And is it really that hard for Bao to just say that? Maybe she did, but I don't have the time to sit there and watch everything. And with the context given, she's acting extremely dismissive towards such light criticism that could have been fixed in 2 seconds.
Yeah, she's just rage baiting. And also, it's not like she's saying that she isn't a misandrist. She was like, she talked about it very briefly, and she was like, you know, she's like, you're a misandrist. She was like trying to do like a mocking voice or whatever. By the way, Bao, that could be ableist. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think Bao is being ableist. That's obviously me reaching. But, no, and she's doing like the mocking voice being like, you're a misandrist or whatever. She never said, I am not. You never even made any effort to dismiss that claim whatsoever. You just said, oh, okay, you can think that of me, I guess. I feel like that, I can't help but think that that's probably plausible deniability language from Bao. She's just like intentionally doing it because she knows what she's saying is provocative. She knows that she has part of her audience that's like Femcel, that are full of Femcels. And she knows what she's saying is meant to rile up the audience, and so she wants to keep that going because she knows what she's doing.
Like, is it hard to say just be careful of everyone who love bombs or is trying to use you or seems sketchy, off, etc. as a follow-up? That's literally it. That's the drama, lol. Then it's done and everyone moves on. Like, this shouldn't even be an issue that people are discussing. But you see how being dismissive of what I'm saying leads to others to think the same? If one of the largest creators sets a bad precedent, it trickles down. It's easy to dismiss it when it doesn't affect you on the top. Easier to see when people like me are the ones dealing with it all. In my 13 years of being partnered, I've never seen so much collective hate towards being a man in my life. It just is gatekeeping and makes someone not even want to join the community. So then you're still stuck with the other creepy men. When men get harassed and sexually abused, no one cares. This entire past few days kind of shows it.
Honestly, that's kind of true. And I mean, I feel like Twitch doesn't care about like men or women being sexually assaulted on their platform, just to be clear. They don't seem to really care about it as like a collective, but yeah, it's true. It's unfortunate.
And Crash One Mil replies with this picture in the caption, "Oh, and this tweet she liked." And it's not a Kimmy tweeting out, "Never mind, fuck Bao. She really is just a misandrist."
Yeah. Bao liked a tweet saying, "Men that are crying about this are the same men that cry about us saying we'd choose the bear."
Screenshotting Bao liking it.
Oh, interesting. I mean, I think that this tweet by itself doesn't necessarily... If this was just this tweet in a vacuum, I wouldn't say Bao is like really a misandrist. Men that are crying about this are the same men that would cry about us saying we'd choose the bear. They're insinuating that, like, you know, the famous TikTok phrase of, would you rather be alone in the woods with a man or a bear? I don't think that alone is misogynistic. I feel like it's just more like... Or no, sorry, I don't think that alone is misandric or misandry or whatever. I feel like it's just, I don't know. There are some really gross men for sure. I'm not like trying to debunk everything I just said in this video. I don't think that alone is misandry. I feel like there are genuinely, blatantly more, like a lot of stuff that could be more misandric. Is that a word? Misandric? Misandry? I don't fucking know. I feel like that alone, if you're just talking about being alone with the man or the bear, and then choose the bear, if you're all alone in the woods, like, I feel like that story originated from, like, a man who was, like, a rapist, right? That's where I'm pretty sure it originated. Don't quote me on that. But I don't think that alone is a misandrist. I wouldn't doubt that Bao is, like, a femcel to some capacity, though. Like, she definitely gives, like, huge femcel vibes.
A tweet from Yuka where Yuka said, "Men that are crying about this are the same men that cry about us saying we'd choose the bear." And Bao the Whale liked that tweet, and Yuka said, "I'm gonna throw up. My Oshi has perceived me." Loki quotes the clip by Zelius by saying, "And there it is. Apparently asking for there to be no sexism is itself sexism and women hate. You know, fuck Bao and fuck her honeypotted simp fans who will never call her out on it. You fucked up. You are a perp just like the ones you warn of. You are an idiot." Literally all she had to do was acknowledge the issue and fix the post to be genderless. Instead, she double, even tripled down on her misandry in a Hassan-type crash-out. Nah, if you can't see her issues because you full-tier sub on her fansly, kindly leave my presence. And if anyone is upset about me calling them simps, don't talk about nuance, qualifiers, or any of that shit ever again. What was it y'all and Bao said? If the shoe fits? Crazy how y'all drop everything a moment it disagrees with your prejudiced views.
Damn. Kind of based. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of based.
Yasu tweets out a screenshot from Bao's stream and captions it by saying, "After watching Bao's explanation, here's the takeaway. I only care/write about my experience in pattern recognition. My experience is that powerful male creators who shower others with attention are bad. I did nothing wrong writing this. All the haters are Cinder fans, stupid, or male predators. If actual pyro pups were attacking her, they'd say, if you're a content creator and an emotionally volatile one wants to be your friend, don't walk, run. They'll end your career in a meltdown before ever reaching out. That's not the case, so I'm calling BS." Taken literally, her statement reads as,
and also, like, I really feel like the Cinder drama is so overblown. Everybody thinks the Cinder drama is more important than it actually was. It literally just boils down to Cinder has boundary issues and she could have acted a little better. I think Redacted had a lot of miscommunications with Cinder, and I feel like Redacted was not particularly good because he would intentionally not tell Cinder things. I feel like they're both in a very toxic relationship. I wouldn't say it's abusive. I'd say it's very toxic. I just don't really think that Cinder managed her platform as well as she could have, but what she did is not, like, manipulative, conniving bullshit. It's like Cinder, the whole Cinder thing is just so blown out of proportion, and people think it's, like, so more important than it actually is. I feel like, if anything, what Bao is doing constitutes, like, way worse than anything Cinder has ever done, and that within itself is a rabbit hole.
powerful men equals bad. So no, it's not about people being illiterate. The irony is she's now doing exactly what she was accused of, calling all male critics predators. The core issue is she won't own her mistakes. What started as a simple slip became a defensive mess that only reinforced what people were calling her out for. Also, if there are people attacking her on behalf of Cinder, that's pretty silly.
I don't think there are, to be honest with you.
Prescriptive
Maybe there are, but I don't think that's the main reason why people are calling Bao out.
and descriptive claims are different. Prescriptively, Bao's claims carry little issue and are not what people are getting mad over, despite that being framed as the issue by people on the supporting side. The issue is the descriptive claim, where she is effectively stating, "I think big man bad because." She tied male into the perspective, leading people, whether they knowingly realized it or not, to an unfavorable descriptive basis. However, this basis was essentially confirmed by Bao herself on stream, so there is no longer debate over whether she is a misandrist. She simply holds the descriptive position of one, confirmed by her own words on stream. And Dylan replies, "This isn't confirmed in the slightest. She made a very true statement about being wary of random unprompted showering and praise bombing by men who are large streamers. She never said all men."
She did, though. She literally said, large streamer, and she added the male part, which means all males who happen to be large streamers and who happen to be successful or whatever. You could have communicated that without the male part. That's the whole point.
Pyral says, "I'm beginning to think this is all her big and grossly bad attempt at deflecting her involvement in taking down Cinder by using men as a scapegoat, and distract the majority of us from it by stirring issues about gender, especially with the use of pyropups as a scapegoat." And Yusa says, "More likely, Bao felt upset by the Cinder drama and made a vent post she thought she could grandstand on, then got upset when the praise didn't come. Saying she's using her audience for obfuscation is a stretch. That kind of coordination takes an actual IO." Then another VTuber, Shondo, got involved, replying to Floki, someone whose tweets we've read in this video, when she replied saying, "Groomer outed alert."
That's a random fucking accusation to give for some reason.
And callsign captions this tweet, screenshotting it. The tweet is now deleted, but they say, "You accused someone of differing opinion than you to be a groomer, Shondo. Where's the damn punchline?" And God Was Real says, "With how many times she's been accused of being a pedophile or a Nazi and whatnot, and the fact that the same people she's attacking with that are the kind of people who are defending her against those false accusations, it makes it truly fucked up for her to then turn around and do the same fucking thing." Shondo then put out an apology tweet, but unfortunately the original tweet is now deleted. This user named Blarg did screenshot the tweet, but they put a whole bunch of their information and their interpretation on it, but we'll just read the apology now deleted from Blarg's screenshot. Blarg says, "Got Shondo also making the worst apology for calling someone a groomer just because they said Bao's behavior around that tweet was off." And here is what Shondo said in the now deleted tweet. "I recently said something pretty mean on Impulse that's being pretty roughly misinterpreted. It's British humor to throw words around, and I personally have seen so much hate on the internet now."
Anyone who lives in the UK, can you put in the comments section, is it normal to just falsely accuse people of being pedophiles or groomers when they say something that you don't like? Is that like a normal British humor kind of thing? Yeah, I guess put it in the comments. I don't live there, so I'm not going to pretend like I do. I'm kind of leaning towards it definitely is not, but I guess one of you guys could let me know if you're watching.
Especially directed towards myself, that I've become completely and utterly numb to it. It seems I might have forgotten many people haven't really reached that point yet. I'm always trying to be a better, stronger, and kinder person, and it was wrong to thoughtlessly say something cruel. That said, if there are robberies in your area, it's not a bad idea to lock your door. If someone starts yelling about how you're oppressing them by telling people to do that, they might have a reason to feel so personally slighted. I think as men and women in the modern era, there is an incredible amount of strain between us, and I have always been an advocate for breaking that wall down. The strife and conflict is pointless and does nothing but perpetrate this stupid cycle of hate. Shondo Phoenix know I am literally the opposite of a misandrist, and I don't take kindly at all to my thoughts about being interpreted that way."
Well, you gave a false grooming accusation in response to a tweet that I guess you were not a fan of. I don't really know what this has to do with that.
TLDR, sorry for drama whoring. I stream a lot, very tired. Said the quiet part out loud. I can't tell you to-
Said the quiet part out loud. What do you fucking mean? What do you mean said the quiet part out loud? You're trying to respond and apologize for what you said, but then you just said the quiet. You're now saying you said the quiet part out loud. Are you apologizing for what you said or not?
Be nice and also be mean myself.
That communicates that you still think that they're a groomer to some capacity, but apparently this person has pedophile grooming accusations themselves, I guess. I don't know if that is or isn't true. I have no idea, but okay.
Being kind to the people who do not deserve it is the strongest and most badass thing you can do, actually. And it usually frustrates them and makes them rethink their behavior a lot more effectively than being a cruel would. Skywolf says, Shando's knee-jerk reaction every time someone says bad things about a VTuber she likes is to defend her. She has no logical reason for her stance. It's purely emotional. And Wanderer says, can all these Ian VTubers use the same logic to black or Arabs, I wonder? Because usually they are not. They would say it's racism. But what Bao wrote's not misandry, but facts. So they are hypocrites. Floki, the person that Shando did call a groomer, then quote tweets Shando's now deleted post by saying, holy fucking non-apology. I know a ton of British people. None of them would use groomer outed alerts in the context you did in a false accusation as a joke or humor. How about an actual fucking apology for bringing down your following after my head? And Johan van Havel says, if you're friends with the lads, sure, you call each other slurs all the time with no hard feelings attached. Going to stranger and calling him that would earn me a British handshake at worst and a knuckle sandwich at best. And Floki replies, for sure. And even among friends, you wouldn't in that context. And it would be nonce usually, not groomer. The tee-hee, I'm just an edgy girl bullshit is all to placate the accountability she was getting, not an apology.
Yeah, and that, and also she said, I said the quiet part out loud. That communicates that you're not actually sorry for it.
She then tweets a second time after deleting those first tweets. This one is now still up, where she apologizes again, starting off by saying, hi everyone, this is Fallen Shadow. I am feeling much more stable, and I would like to now sincerely
Wow, this is Fallen Shadow. Is your account ran by more than one person?
apologize for my recent behavior on social media. I don't believe in using mental illness as a crutch or an excuse, and I would like to take full responsibility and accountability for how embarrassingly dumb I've been recently.
Here we go, the accountability virtue signal. Here we go.
Loki, I am sorry for the mean tweets. It was pretty pathetic to involve myself for no reason, and it was incredibly thoughtless for me to call you a groomer. I do not literally actually think you are this. I just thought you were being a jerk, and I genuinely just didn't think of what word would imply. I have a blunt, very British, very crude sense of humor, and I throw around words like groomer or whore in a joking way all the time on stream, but I don't actually think anyone is a literal nonce or a prostitute when I say these things.
Probably not a good idea to throw those serious accusations around then, because that actually lowers the meaning of what those words actually mean. So probably not a good idea to be falsely labeling people these things, because then it just adds more, it gives ammunition to people that already don't believe anything on the internet.
It's just dumb, bad jokes. I screwed up by forgetting I was on an entirely different website responding to someone in a way it would be impossible to glean context from. Someone who throws around words like this to complete strangers just isn't the person I want to be. I literally did not even
Well, you did it, so
consider that my actions could cause you upset or make people attack you. I am deeply sorry if my words hurt you, or anyone else who saw it. Usually when I see a post on here that makes me angry, I do my best to keep any hateful or bitter thoughts to myself. I said the quiet part out loud though recently, when I very thought.
What does that mean? You keep saying I said the quiet part out loud. Like, usually you say that when you actually mean something with your chest. And this just I don't know, like, not for nothing, like, I don't think you're making it better for yourself. You're just when you say I said the quiet part out loud, you're implying that you still think that they're a groomer. And you're just trying to, like, escape the backlash you got for falsely labeling someone a groomer.
Honestly just tweeted the first mean thing that came into my head rather than pushing it out of my mind and moving on. I think there's enough anger and drama already, and I have always tried to stay out of it to the best of my ability. But recently I became something I myself dislike, and I sincerely apologize. I messed up after this again by deciding to apologize to my fan base for drama whoring rather than apologizing to the Twitter population who saw my dumb tweets.
Alright, hurry up. I'm not mad at Internet Versus for reading this tweet, but, like, hurry up. Like, this is just like a whole lot of nothing. This is just like paragraph of just nothing, so just hurry up.
It's going to sound very pathetic, but I feel like I should admit to after I saw this creator saying mean things about my fanbase following this, I thought I was justified, and, well, now I don't need to apologize. This is an incredibly childish and hateful way of thinking, and I'm incredibly angry that I thought this way at all, even during the lead up to an episode. I spent a lot of my life and time on the internet being a very bitter and angry person. It comes much too naturally to me when my mental state is low, but I'm trying.
Cool, so you're just making up excuses for what you're saying. Got it, cool. It's okay to call people a groomer because I went through a really tough time on the internet. It's okay to call people pedophiles on the internet because I went through a tough time on the internet. Got it, thanks.
My best to be better. The thing I want most as a content creator is to spread love and kindness, even to those that dislike me, and I have set the worst example possible recently. I will do better. I would also like to apologize for deleting all of the related tweets, as well as all of my other tweets from this time.
Oh my god, this is how you know somebody's virtue signaling, is when they apologize for shit that doesn't even matter and it wasn't even the original criticism. No one was levying criticisms at you for deleting your tweets. This is how you know somebody's virtue signaling.
This was done because I received an email from a known individual threatening my family if I did not remove it and apologize. I maniacally deleted everything I had recently tweeted in a fearful panic, when I usually would have just forwarded it to my police contact and deleted the email. I don't believe in hiding or removing mistakes. I think it's
police contact? What the fuck does a police contact have to do with any of this?
important to own up to them. Once again, I am sincerely sorry that you all had to witness this stupid behavior, and I am sorry to Floki for any damage I stupidly caused you. I will be taking a short break from the internet to touch grass and be with my family. I won't be discussing this again, but I understand completely if this situation has left a sour taste in your mouth. I hope that I can grow and do better, because this has been a big personal wake-up call as to how I need to be more aware of both myself and how I choose to conduct myself in front of the audience I am incredibly grateful and blessed to have. Thank you for reading. Please be nice and be good, especially to yourself. I will do my best to show you that I can do much better. Shadow.
Holy virtue signal. Jesus fucking Christ.
And he replies, holy W apology.
Not really. It just seems like a whole lot of virtue signaling and a whole lot of just like nothing. It's just paragraphs of literal nothing, and they said the quiet part out loud, which implies that they still think that they're a groomer.
Tectone says, best apology I've seen. If people aren't happy with this, they'll be happy with nothing.
Right, of course, because Tectone is a moral arbiter, and he's a very principled person online. We all know how principled of a person Tectone is, even though he's the same guy who says slurs on the internet for attention and like rage baits, and then is like, oh, why did I get banned? Why did I get banned off Twitch? Because you said the fucking F slur or the R slur on Twitch or something, or whatever the case is. I don't know.
Good shit. Elf Supremacist says, you know what? Everyone deserves another chance when they admit they are wrong and want to better themselves. I pray for you and hope you actually grow.
Wow, it seems like a lot of people really like this apology. I didn't think it mean anything. I just don't fucking like people who give false accusations to other people, so I don't really... I just don't see it.
Killy.neat says, never apologize, Shondo. It's all fine and everyone forgot already. And Shawnee says, never apologize. Probably the worst sentiment I see nowadays. We need to normalize accountability again. And Killy says, accountability is for when you break the law, not upset a subset of an internet subculture, lol. And Asher says, her audience is a subset of a subset of a subset, pissing off said audience for no real reason.
Jesus Christ, Twitter is so brain rot. It's like, I try not to argue with people in comment sections when I can help it, but there are times where there are people that are just so fucking stupid that sometimes I feel like I need to give my 2 cents on people, and maybe that's just like a wrong thing. And I've been trying my best to like end arguments as much as possible. If I find myself in an internet argument, I try to like disengage as quickly as possible because it's just not worth it. Most people on Twitter aren't even like real. And a lot of people seem to really like this apology for some reason. I don't know. I am not a huge fan of it personally. It just seemed like a lot of excuse after excuse after excuse, and it's just like they said the quiet part out loud. It's just, I don't know. I don't buy it personally.
And not apologizing is a really terrible position to be in. Floki then quotes the post by saying, Shondo has properly and meaningfully apologized. I have accepted. The matter is done. Please do not continue anything on my behalf because it won't be. I truly hope she can find peace within her break and continues to take care of herself wherever her path takes her. Now back over to Bao the Whale, the other party in this whole drama. There's also this clip that made the rounds that Spadicus tweeted out, where she is addressing and talking about the very initial tweet.
Canceled 4 times in a month, canceled 4 times in a month. Nuh-uh, guys, it's not being called canceled, it's called engagement farming.
Yeah, of course. Definitely, what did I say? What did I say? I mean, I already knew that this clip existed.
Thank you very much. Here we go again. Come on, you can't be for real. Guys, I'm so fucking dead ass.
And Scrubbings replies to the clip by saying, if she is calling her comments that led to me being harassed and called a liar for being abused engagement farming, I am going to throw up. I am literally feeling sick. Please tell me there's more context or it's out of context, please. I am heartbroken. Then Bao the Whale makes a new tweet about the whole situation where she says, I haven't been acting like myself at all. I feel that this year poisoned me deeply and all. I'm not able to focus on anything but all the negatives. It's all I can think about, and it's not fair to air it out in a space that's trying to heal.
It's so fucking... You're so stupid. Jesus Christ. It's like, here we go again with like the more fucking mental health shit that Bao does. Like Bao, this is not the first time that Bao has tweeted about her mental health or something horrible happening to her in her life. It's like, my brother has surgery, or oh no, I was getting surgery, or I was sick in my bed or whatever. Oh, my mother is going through this or something, or this is happening to me or whatever, or oh, I have depression or whatever. It's always fucking excuses with Bao. It's never Bao's fault. It's never Bao's fault, ever, that she's in the position that she's in. It's never her fault. It's always somebody else's fault.
I am impulsive and don't think things through. I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and that is a terrible combination. It's irresponsible and really dangerous. I'm very sorry. At worst, I am dumb as fuck, not malicious. Marty Lund replies, at worst I am, see that? Stop that. It's not about your identity or image. It's about what you did and what you will do going forward. Try this. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt people, but I was being entitled, careless, and self-centered. I'll try to do better. God Was Real replies, all of this could easily be resolved with just one clarification post. People have been begging you to do that all week and you've laughed at them for it and said you were just engagement farming. Between you saying stuff like that and your adamant refusal to do a clarification post, it makes it really hard to have faith in you.
Yeah, not only that, but it just goes to show that she doesn't actually care. She's just doing this as like a last resort because she can't handle the backlash that she's getting from her own engagement farming by her own admission.
Deja Wu replied, Bao, many of us actually agreed with the points you were trying to make, but the way you expressed them came across poorly. Instead of taking feedback on board, you dismissed those who disagreed as self-reports, called people troglodyte pre-debut V-tweeters, insulted bald men, and somehow dragged pyropups into the discussion. Then you doubled and tripled down, and later began criticizing Skeb artists, an issue that ultimately stemmed from not reading their rules properly.
Yeah, you see, Bao doesn't actually care. This is how you know that Bao is just like virtue signaling and just not giving a shit about like the consequences of her own actions. She tried to poke the bear. She tried to get engagement by having a quote-unquote base take, and she got a lot of pushback for it. She doubled and tripled down until eventually her mental health couldn't take it anymore, and now she puts out this tweet.
The VTuber community has...
And it's very tough to feel bad for her, especially since this is not the first quote-unquote vent tweet that she's made. She has tweeted about her mental health constantly in the past, and I can't help but feel like all of it is just for brownie points on the internet.
Has become increasingly toxic over the past couple of years, and it's disappointing to see someone as established as you contributing to that negativity. While it's good to see you apologize, your statement feels weak. It doesn't acknowledge exactly what you did wrong, instead brushing it off as not acting like yourself. It's also difficult to take seriously after you mentioned on stream that the whole thing was for engagements. I'd really suggest taking some time off to focus on your mental health, then coming back with a genuine apology once you've had time to reflect. Nobody hated you, Bao. We just wanted you to listen instead of escalating things. Take care of yourself. Harley TBS replies to Bao by saying, I think that there's a portion of the internet that is much more upset than have a right to be. It's just Twitter people, and a person who lives in the real world would not have a problem with your tweets.
I mean, that's probably true to some capacity. Like I said, I feel like what she said could have been worded better. The problem was that she's obviously doing it to incite a reaction out of people, and she's being dishonest about it, and she's pretending like it isn't that isn't the case. And also because I just think Bao in general is a very inauthentic person, so maybe I'm more terminally online than this guy on Twitter. I don't know. Maybe I'm more terminally online. I don't fucking know. I try not to be, but like maybe I am terminally online. I don't know.
Let it get you two down. Hope that you are still doing well outside of all of this. KCPR quote tweets Bao with a screenshot of the original post that started this whole thing and captions it by saying, if anyone ever wonders why the internet became such a bigoted cesspool, it is because normie content creators get canceled and bullied into apologizing for expressing their reasonable opinions on any vaguely political topic.
Well, it wasn't reasonable. She could have communicated the same point without adding male in it. Like, she obviously was doing it to incite, like, fucking engagement or whatever. She was obviously doing it to farm a response from people.
It is insanity. She has nothing to apologize for. Karasu0 quote tweets Bao by saying, women and not taking any accountability. It's wrong, but this and that. But it's not me. It's never me. It's never my fault. It's always other things.
Alright, I don't know if I want to do that either. Saying women and not taking accountability. That's a little bit too red-pilled for my liking. That's a little bit too, like, it's definitely not exclusively a women problem. I do think that Bao it's more of like a femcel problem. It's not exclusively just like a women problem. All right, like this tweet is a little bit too red-pilled for my liking.
Normal person be like, I'm wrong, I fucked up, it's my fault. Can't wait to get called misogyny for saying this.
Well, it kind of, the way you're wording it, you definitely are, like, you're saying that it's a women problem, and now you're, like, saying that you're limiting it to just women. That inherently is misogynistic and very, like, red-pilled. Like, now you have the exact opposite problem as Bao. In fact, you're actually just another side of the coin with Bao at this point by putting this tweet out. And you're just like saying that by trying to call out the behavior of Bao or the take that she had, you are exhibiting the same behavior essentially, which is very ironic about this entire tweet.
Lumi Skullgirl quote tweets Bao with these screenshots saying, "Girl, please. You even edited the post because you forgot your half-assed sorry. This isn't a genuine apology. This is an excuse. Just step away from social media and get the help you need, not rage bait and farm engagement for your content." And these posts show that the first original said, "At worst, I'm dumb as fuck, not malicious." And then she added in, "I am very sorry" before that sentence. Over in the R virtual YouTuber subreddit, Midnight Dismal 7418 posts so about the whole drama with Bao. "I've been seeing people are basically dogpiling her, and I looked at some of her other stuff from this year post Cinder situation, and I discovered the fact that she might actually just be mentally spiraling. So I don't get why people labeled her as a misandrist for just saying male in a damn warning tweet. She's a woman. Women can have bad experiences with men. It's like how guys will warn about women and no one bats a fucking eye." And
I feel like it's the other way around, to be honest. Like, we don't have to make this a gendered issue. Like, men have problems, women have problems. We don't have to make it like a gendered fucking issue. Like, I feel like that's just like was the whole point. Like, Bao turned this into a conversation about gendered issues. Like, using mental health as an excuse is not an excuse to say whatever the fuck you want. Like, I feel like that's just so half-assed.
and replies, "Because she is talking about something she is guilty of doing. She is the big numbers streamer love bombing smaller streamers, but she wrote big numbers male streamer to avoid responsibility. The biggest recent controversy was about Cinder literally doing this."
No, actually, that's not true at all. Cinder wasn't doing that to anybody. Cinder was just reaching out to people about exclusivity, and she wanted exclusivity deals, which is a normal thing to do in art adjacent job areas, to have exclusivity deals with like artists and stuff. You know, why do you think music artists exist exclusively for composers? Like, I don't know, I guess Kevin Sherwood is a good example for Call of Duty. He's exclusive to Call of Duty. You know, like, why, you know what I mean? It's like Cinder was offering that. That's like a normal thing to do. Cinder wasn't doing this. Cinder has like nothing to do with this situation other than Bao just using it as a scapegoat for the backlash that she's getting.
So when she targets males for this, it's pretty obvious what the stance she is taking. It's fine if women do it. NOP replies, "Yeah, she was extremely hurt by Cinder doing this. And genuinely, how in the actual fuck does that work when the big controversy at the moment is that Miskiff was exposed for abuse?" Just a Guy 2170 says, "The first tweet isn't what most people took issue with. The crash out on stream and tweets after are what people took issue with." An Affection Tiger says, "Can you explain? I can't suss out what the actual problem is. What was the crash out like and what was it over?" And Just a Guy says, "Rather than clarify, she doubled down and made Misandrous balding jokes. She then later goalposts on Twitter trying to rewrite what this was all about. Ironically, she goes crying to Maxor, a big male creator, about the backlash she got for saying people shouldn't trust big male creators." Shout out to our tier 3 members, internet representatives Kiko, Sal Salad, Kodos Bandito, and Captain Crash Out. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you all in the next episode.
All right, well, that was certainly a situation.